power over you. And that's why God keeps on telling us, do not fear. Every time you meet, do not fear. So have faith. Now, barely 2 days after the burial of Kasipul MP Charles Were, Homa Bay Deputy Governor Joseph Oyugi Magwanga faced a security threat after facing an assassination attempt. The incident occurred at around 9 p.m. according to one of the DG's security personnel who requested to remain anonymous. He said the family noticed unusual movements outside the compound by unknown people as the DG was still away. Upon realizing this, they informed the DG, who took a different route in a different car. Upon arrival at the home, the assassins had laid an ambush which was thwarted by security in a gunfire exchange, finally leading to a retreat of the attackers. Addressing the press at his home in Kabur village, the DG said he had received threats to his life but didn't know it would come this fast. He has appealed to the security agency to be swift to investigate and bring culprits to book.
We have awoken to disturbing news this morning following a cowardly attack on my vehicle by armed gunmen last night. This incident has been formally reported to the relevant investigating authorities, who have since launched an in-depth into the matter. We remain confident that justice will be served and the perpetrators will be brought to book. However, in light of the office I hold and the increasingly worrisome trend of political violence, especially the targeting of leaders in Kasipul constituency, this attack is not only alarming but deeply troubling. While we patiently await the findings of the investigation, I call for calm among the public and urge everyone to refrain from speculation that could heighten tension or derail the pursuit of the truth.
Wow. I hope the police can get to the bottom of this. We don't want people becoming confident that the only way of dealing with somebody you don't like is taking him out. You know, anytime you see somebody as the problem, since you cannot solve the person, the first thing that comes to mind is to take him out. And that's the reason why divorces happen. Because you're seeing your wife or your husband as the problem. And because you cannot be able to solve that problem, the only solution is to get rid of the problem. Now, a Nairobi court has ordered the 30-day detention of Isaac Kuria, the primary suspect in the assassination of Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Were, to allow police to complete the investigation. Kuria, also known as Kush, was apprehended in Isebania near the Kenya-Tanzania border while allegedly attempting to flee the country. His arrest follows a dramatic manhunt launched by the Directorate of Criminal Investigation in the aftermath of the MP's fatal shooting on Valley Road in Nairobi. Court documents reveal that Kuria is suspected to have been directly involved in the killing, which detectives believe was part of a wider premeditated plot to assassinate the legislator. According to the investigators, Kuria fled the scene after the shooting and moved through several counties in a calculated effort to evade capture. He first traveled to Mihango, where he allegedly discarded the murder weapon, which has since been recovered by authorities, before proceeding to Narok and eventually Isebania.
Mheshimiwa, uchunguzi unahusiana na kifo cha aliyekuwa mbunge wa Kasipul kwa majina Charles Were. Alishoot, Mheshimiwa, alitumia hiyo bunduki ambayo ilitumika kuua marehemu mbunge wa Kasipul. Mheshimiwa, kuna washukiwa wengine ambao bado wanazidi kutafutwa na polisi na wengine tayari pia wameshikwa katika hizo siku 30. Mheshimiwa,
you know, it's a very sad thing that somebody can take out your life that easy. You're given money to kill somebody, and you don't know that these are eternal issues. You're dealing with matters eternal. You're shooting somebody, you're killing somebody, you send them into eternity without even thinking. Anyway, the Lord does not sleep. President William Ruto has admitting to extrajudicial abductions happening in the country and says all those abducted had been reunited with their families, assuring Kenyans it will not happen again. Backtracking on his own words, the president repeatedly made sentiments saying no extrajudicial killings or abduction will happen under his regime. The head of state was answering a question from a foreign journalist who inquired on the state of human rights and freedoms in the country.
I undertook to the country that being a democracy, and robustly so, that Kenyans must not, as has happened in the past, where Kenyans disappeared and their bodies were found in all manner of places, that will not happen under my administration. And all the people who disappeared or who were abducted in what you said, all of them have been brought back to their families and to their homes. And I have given clarity and firm instructions that nothing of that kind of nature will happen again. And that it was my commitment as I became president that extrajudicial disappearances of Kenyans will not be part of what we are doing as a nation. Additionally, we have taken proactive steps. My first assignment when I became president was to extend the independence of our investigative agencies, including the police, give them financial autonomy, give them operational autonomy that is guaranteed in the Constitution. And we have since transferred the budget from the Office of the President for the police to the Police Service Commission, and the Inspector General of the Police is now solely responsible for matters operation, for matters finances, and that my office has now nothing to do with the operations, the financing of police activities, to give them independence.
So let's hope that we are not going to see other people's children disappearing, because that has been a disturbing factor in this country. Now, Kenya has vowed to strengthen its collaborations with Finland in key areas including education, global peace, and multilateral cooperation. Speaking during a press briefing at State House when he hosted Finnish President Alexander Stubb at State House, President William Ruto affirmed that education is a cornerstone of Kenya's development agenda and a key area for deepening bilateral ties. Recognizing Finland as one of the global leaders in education, Ruto expressed the need to deepen collaboration so as to support the ongoing transition process to a full competency-based education system. During the event, the two leaders witnessed the signing of two memorandum of understanding on political consultation and peace mediation and conflict resolution.
Kenya deeply values its long-standing friendship with Finland, a key development partner in Europe and a steadfast supporter of our national ambitions. This inaugural visit, Mr. President, reflects the enduring friendship and strategic partnership between our two nations dating back to 1965. As we mark 60 years of diplomatic ties, we also celebrate the growth of a relationship rooted in shared democratic values and a joint commitment to a just, prosperous, and sustainable world. Finland's expertise in education, technology, renewable energy, and climate action aligns closely with Kenya's development priorities. We look forward to strengthening existing collaborations and exploring new opportunities to elevate our cooperation to a strategic level.
William and I had the opportunity to first have bilateral discussions where we were able to deal with a broad range of issues, whether global, regional, or bilateral. We also talked about the big shifts that we're seeing worldwide in democracy in today's world. We talked about NGOs and the importance of their role in society. We have to remember that democracy is something that you not only have to protect, but you have to work at all times. And I think William and I share that goal. And we feel very strongly that working towards more liberal democratic societies where the rule of law is the basis and foundation, where human rights are at the center of whatever we do, is the best way to push the dossier forward. And this is something that William and I not only discussed but share. So
now, Finland is a very interesting country, including the other Scandinavian countries, in the sense that teachers, they only take what we do here. The brightest students go to engineering, doctors, and that kind of stuff. In Finland, the brightest, the ace, go to teaching, because they say you don't want to be taught by Dundas. You want to be taught by the creme de la creme of the education system. So they are paid well, but they are the brightest people in the country. And that's the reason why the education system is amazing. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has announced his resignation from the United Democratic Alliance Party, UDA. The former DP said he made the decision following the realization that he no longer shares the same ideals with the ruling party. In a statement, Gachagua said that the decision takes effect immediately. He claimed that the party has exhausted and wasted a Kenyan moment to take off economically, socially, and politically. According to him, most of the promises the government made during the campaign period have not been fulfilled. The official resignation signals a new political path for Gachagua, as he is expected to launch his new party soon. And the gentleman was busy as he asserted that former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i is qualified to lead Kenya. Gachagua said the former CS has a solid service and delivery track record, having held key positions in the Ministry of Interior, Education and ICT during retired President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. Speaking to the Gusii community during an interview on vernacular radio station broadcasting in Ekagusi language, Gachagua emphasized that Matiang'i has the credentials to lead the country.
Kuteua serikali alikuwa William Ruto. Mimi nilikuwa na mkataba ya pale Mlimani. Na nilipigania kwa sababu ukiingiza watu kwa serikali kupitia mpango lazima upiganie watu wako. Sasa nyinyi mlikuwa kuna mtu ya kupigania nyinyi kwa sababu kura yenu mligawa. Wengine mkapatia Ruto, wengine mkapatia Raila. Na hapo ndio shida iko. Na mimi nichukue nafasi hii niambie Wakisii leo. Mimi nimefurahi sana kuona mmechukua huyu kijana wenu Fred Matiang'i na kuwa na matumaini ya kwamba anaweza kuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Na niliona juzi vile alikaribishwa pale na nikafurahi sana. Na mimi naona hii jamii sasa imeanza kupata mwelekeo. Kwanza, muachane na mambo ya bruka. Mambo ya kupitia mtu mwingine ndio mkuje kwa meza ya kitaifa, muachane naye. Huyu kijana wenu Fred Matiang'i alifanya kazi na Uhuru Kenyatta. Na kuangalia kwetu alifanya kazi nzuri sana, alikuwa mwaminifu kwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Na alisukuma kazi sana akiwa waziri wa elimu. Sana, kazi ambayo inaonekana. Najua nasikia watu wengi wanamtaja wale walikuwa shule wakati hiyo. Amekuja pale, amekuwa waziri wa usalama, amefanya kazi ambaye inaonekana. Kutoka hapo ameenda pale World Bank, amepewa kazi kubwa sana. Huyu tukimwangalia ni kiongozi ambaye ametosha, ameiva. Kwa qualification ametosha kuongoza Kenya na anaweza. Lakini ataongoza vipi? Lazima apigiwe kura na watu ya Kenya. Hizi kura atapigiwa na watu ya Kenya. Itakuwa namna gani mimi niambie watu ya Mlima Kenya tuunge Fred Matiang'i mkono kama yeye hajatuonesha kwa dhihirisho ya kwamba nyumbani ameungwa mkono kikamilifu.
That's Rigiji. Now, transport and business activities were yesterday disrupted at Bokembe Market in Bungoma County when protesters opposing the lease of the Nzoia sugar factory clashed with police officers throughout the day. Police had to lob tear gas at protesters, dispersed crowds, even as Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, the DAPK leader Eugene Wamalwa, and former Senator Cleopas Malala were blocked from accessing the sugar miller. Protesters have been at it for days, disputing the lease, saying the deal does not benefit the farmers.
Tumekuja hapa kuhakikisha mali ya umma lazima ilindwe. Mali ya umma haitakuwa inapeanwa kama mandazi kwenye soko.
Anapewa Nzoia sasa, alidanganya serikali akapewa panipepa. Webuye ilikuwa inaendelea mzuri. Ukienda Webuye saa hizi imekufa, si ndio? Hata hii Mkembe huyu mwindi akiingia hapa Mkembe itakuwa imekufa.
Kama wewe umekaidi amri ya mahakama, if you lie, you have defied the court order, we declare you persona non grata usikanyage.
Ile mtu ambaye walipatia panpepa ndio wamepeana leo Nzoia. Mimi nataka kusema leo, sisi kama watoto wa jamii ya Mulembe, tukiruhusu panpepa iende, Nzoia iende, hata watafika kwa nyumba zetu, wachukue mabibi zetu.
Raji, kitu nitawahakikishia ya kwamba utalipwa exactly baada ya wiki moja. Every Friday, mkulima wa Nzoia ambaye umekuwa ukipeleka miwa yako Nzoia, I can guarantee you utalipwa baada ya siku 7.
Ngoma hatuna kazi sababu Nzoia imekufa. Sasa wakipata mtu ambaye anaamusha Nzoia, msikuja kupinga sababu vijana tunataka ajira.
Kazi ya kutosha. Kwa hivyo wakulima mwenzangu, wacha tuungane pamoja. Wamboka aende huko, Eugene aende huko. Sisi tunataka kuungana pamoja na wakulima peke yao.
Yep. So we're about to look at them. Repressive regime. That's the headline in the Standard today. And they have a picture of a guy whose clothes are being ripped off him by the police. And he's an elderly gentleman. And in its latest reviews, the United Nations has delivered a scathing rebuke to President Ruto's administration over its use of retrogressive tactics, including extrajudicial killings, abduction, enforced disappearance, and curbs on civic space and constitutionally guaranteed freedoms. While previous regimes under Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta faced criticism, the current regime stands accused of flying the flag outright abuse. Police opened fire on demonstrators before Rex Masai's death. That's what they are told. And then officers in Baby Pendo murder bird from violent sport. And then Oduo defends Kenya's human rights record. Kenya faces worst human rights record, UN report. Defense PS 40.7 billion for military projects. And then IBC nominees to be vetted on the 26th as Gachagua falls list. And then the son of murdered Kilifi IEBC manager identifies alleged attackers in court, even as Gachagua exit from UDA. The back page, Amorim raises doubt about Manchester United future after West Ham loss. Hey, they call themselves Red Devils and they are shocked when they are defeated. If you call yourself a red devil, what do you expect? Shetani mwekundu. Shetani alishindwa. Daily Nation. The enemy within. In a rare public disclosure, the National Intelligence Service Director, General Nurdin Haji, says the country must be told the brutal truth about the magnitude of national security threats posed by foreign militia. The spy chief said, with the exception of the country's border with Tanzania, Kenya is battling incursion by insurgents along the porous borders with Ethiopia, Uganda, South Sudan, and Somalia. 1.4 million unwanted pregnancies, crisis of ineffective pills and injectables. This is a campaign that this is how they started in most developed countries. They started showing how bad the situation when it comes to abortion was, so that you can make people get to a point where they say, well, to stop this from happening, why don't we legalize it so that they can access proper hospitals? No, hakuna abortion. Baby boy lollipop, female lawyer fired over workplace nickname, awarded 1.5. Okay. Hapo kuna shida. Hapo iko sita. Big blow to Gachagua as Mount Kenya allies abandon him. Let's look at the names of those who have abandoned him, and we see whether Mr. Njiri Wambogo being the latest. Okay, Njiri, can he cause people to not vote for Gachagua? No, because he couldn't even get his own seat back. Embu Women Rep Njoki Njeru and Kenny MP Wainaina Kieni. Can they dent his support in Mount Kenya? I don't know. It's like saying the way Orengo is not seeing eye to eye with Raila Odinga, that Orengo can affect Raila's support in Luo Nyanza. It cannot happen. Westcan, the silent grief of Kenyan nurses. Many are opting to go abroad in search of better earnings and benefits. Police detain suspected hitman in Were's murder. And then finally, the back page of The Nation. Kenya player causing ripples in Morocco. It's not a male, by the way, it's a chick. Her name is Nanjala. She has emerged top scorer in Moroccan Women Football League. She's really doing well in that league. She really is. And then there's a coach here. His name is Carlo Ancelotti. Excuse me. He's headed to Brazil to become the managers of the Italian Carlo Ancelotti, one of the most decorated managers in world football, will become Brazil coach after leaving Real Madrid at the end of the season. He's going to become the world's highest paid national team coach. Na wewe ulikuwa ukiambia watoto wako wasicheze football, sijui yeye lipi, sijui nini. The highest paid coach is a football coach, Carlo Ancelotti. I know Alan is going to say they are related, because all of a sudden when somebody pops up with a lot of ching-ching, he all of a sudden gets so many relatives. So many people have claimed to be my relatives, including Alice. Mungu tusaidie. All right, with that, we bring the curtains down on the show. Remember, at 9 a.m. we have Your Faith. Wakati wa